go.
All right. Yes.
All right, Becky, how are you? Let's call the meeting to order at 4:36, and we'll go ahead and pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Let's go ahead and we'll open up public comment at 4:37. And for anybody out there, doesn't seem like there's anybody there who wants to publicly comment. So with that in mind, it'll stay open for now. Let's go for the consideration of the moment of minutes, the June 3rd regular school board meeting.
We'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the June 3rd, 2025 regular meeting.
Let's-
You were here. Second.
All in favor? Thank you.
Okay, so let's move on now to our reports. So we'll go ahead and start with the superintendent's report.
Sure, thank you. It's been a busy summer, but great. Excited to have Katie start in her new role. She's been very busy getting up to speed on all things that are Southampton, and she has already met many of the students who will be coming back in just a week. We are in good shape with staffing, so that's exciting. We, at the SAU, spent time this summer on our audit, getting schedules planned, activities for the year ahead. We had a lot of work to do around policy and legislative review, and getting our handbooks updated for the start of the school year. And we did, due to all the policy and legislative changes, have legal review for our handbooks across the SAU this year. We had last week our administrative retreat with all of the administrators from SAU and the districts, Tuesday and Wednesday, where we talked about supervision and evaluation, continued work on school goals and portrait of a learner, and again, that focus on some of the policy and legal updates. We are looking forward to students coming back next week. It's very exciting, everybody's favorite day. Our new teachers started the beginning of this week. They were in on Monday and Tuesday, and then all staff were back yesterday for the first full day of the high school, and here today. And our buildings look shiny and beautiful, and our classrooms are coming together, so it's a fun time to be here. We have a lot of legislative changes that impacted policy that you'll be talking about later in the meeting. So Becky can fill you in, but the policy committee did about half of the policies that need to be addressed as a result of some of the legislative changes. So you'll see the required by law policies on your agenda for a first read, with a few exceptions that are on requested for immediate adoption because the law requires that they be printed in handbooks. One of those is the Parental Bill of Rights, which, though there are no real substantive changes to practices that already exist and were already embedded in law in New Hampshire, has to be printed in handbooks. And then the cell-to-cell, bell-to-bell cell phone ban, not cell-to-cell bell ban, whatever that would be. Yeah, I don't know what that would be, but when we share that information with families, earlier in the week, families have seen a little video explaining what the rules are regarding cell phones. And I would just note, as an awareness item, that the SAU, largely Rhonda and myself, have spent about 200 hours responding to regular requests since the end of the last school year. And I'm going to turn it to Mary, and I apologize, I have to go to District Tuesday right now. But nice to see you all, and happy new school year.
Thank you.
Thanks, Meredith. I have 3 quick items for you this evening. Nice to see you all again. First one is about just a reminder of why we do extended school year, and that's extra time that we provide for students with disabilities who may be in danger of regression over the longer period of summer. So we invite them to about a 4-week period in the summer to come in. And there were no students from Southampton who were in that category, so we didn't have an ESY program here for this past summer, and so all students were able to get what they needed to informational, what's in the beginning part of the report. Professional learning, several of the SAU Special Services Directors and myself were up in Meredith, New Hampshire for the annual conference of the Association of Special Education Administrators. Lynn was with us for the first day, and we went over a lot of the recent state and federal legislation and changes, especially that impact special education. So we had a good day there. We also met a very engaging presenter who is a New Hampshire native and a licensed psychologist working in the area of mental health and trauma-informed resources, and she was excellent. And so we've invited her to provide professional development for our entire SAU on April 1st, 2026. I know that sounds like a long time off, but if we don't get these things kind of committed early, then the presenters book up. So very happy about bringing that back to the whole SAU come April. And then I have some good news. I had told you about the partnership that we've had for the last 2 years with the Cook Center for Human Connection, and they provide, been providing our parentguidance.org resources, in addition to all the free resources that are on the website, which are fabulous for parenting and all kinds of great things. They offer our families as well as our staff a opportunity to engage with a coach, parenting coach, once a week for 30 minutes, a dedicated coach, and that coach is also available to them by email or text 24/7 throughout the week. Families that have engaged in this service have stuck with it. It's been amazing. We had grant funding last year that we don't have for this year. The Cook Center came to our rescue and along with SAU 90 put together a sort of cost efficiency package for our 2 SAUs together and saved us some money. And then the principals all committed some of their grant funding so that we could make it happen for a period year. So just want to promote it and ask you all to get the word out and share the word that Parent Guidance will still be on all of our websites. Principals will be sending out those wonderful newsletters every month, and we'll continue to promote through our behavioral health team this parent coaching at no cost to our families as a result of this great support. So we just want to keep that going. Happy to answer any questions you might have. Anything for me? Thank you.
Great, thank you. All right, let's move on now to the principal's report.
So I started July 1st. It's been a busy month or 2, actually, I should say. Just finishing up, getting to know the school, the community, and then working on some of the hiring that we needed to do. So as of 2 days ago, we completed our hiring. Thankfully, we have a new IT staff member named Paul. He came from Georgetown, where he's had a wealth of experience. He started on Tuesday. We contracted with One World Language for Spanish instruction, and we have a teacher, Luann, who did quite a bit of teaching in Newburyport. She actually came over today. I think it's gonna be a great fit, and the programs that they're using are very lively, engaging, lots of puppets and movement and just things that I think our students will really enjoy from K through 8. We hired a music teacher, that's finalized as of yesterday. Laurie Oliver, she will be teaching music on Fridays, so that was exciting. We were originally going to split a Wednesday and a Friday with a different music teacher, but that fell through, so this actually works out great that it's still on Fridays. And then we hired our last and final educational associate to fill our open spot that we had when Charlotte, the previous educational associate, took over the position for admin assistant. So we're all good there, we're ready to go. We welcomed all the staff back today and had a nice luncheon, did some work on our school improvement plan, and so staff are ready to go. As far as facilities, Dick Goulet is our facilities manager. He's been working hard this summer. We had our roof redone. I don't know if you can tell, but it's beautiful. I took pictures kind of in the stages of when half the roof was done and when it wasn't, and it's really nice. We had quite a few potholes, very large potholes in the front circle driveway that were not filled up until yesterday. So So that's not recorded in here, but those were filled, the trucks were here yesterday, filling those, getting ready for the last, right before school starts. And then some little things like painting, the waxing of the floors, whiteboard installations in some classrooms. They repainted the hopscotch and the Foursquare out back, so ready to welcome you those in. And then we have sent out quite a few reminders through Parent Square about the registration and the residency requirements. And we are right now at about 50% of our families and students have, 50% of our families have reached back out and registered or, filled out the residency requirements for their children, so. Keep plugging away at that to see if we can get 100%. And then some of our upcoming events, we have the kindergarten orientation on Monday from 1 to 2. We do have the bus coming, so the students will get to hop on the bus and do a little ride through the neighborhood. We then have an ice cream social. It's actually a Kona Ice social. The Kona Ice truck will be coming and giving Kona Ice to all the students and staff. So that will be here on Monday afternoon as well, 2 o'clock. And then we will be welcoming back 77 students actually on the first day school. We registered 2 additional students this week, a 6th and a 7th grader, which is exciting, but we did lose 1 student, so we are up to 7. And that's it.
Alright, great, thank you. Now let's go to special services report.
I'm not sure if Lynn has a
Lynn, you
specific
have-
report, do you have anything you'd like to share?
I did not do a report for this.
That's fine.
Sorry.
Oh, not a problem, just,
Let's see, do I have anything to say? It's been a busy summer. We didn't have any kids in ESY. We're ready to go. It's been quiet here as far as special education is concerned. So,
fair enough. Thank you. And Matt, let's move on to the finance report.
Thank you. So I have included the year-to-date expenditure report. We note that there's no revenue report this month. And that's due to the timing. At this point in the school year, we don't have any meaningful revenue to report. Similarly, on the expenditure side, you'll see, 99% of the accounts are all positive with a hefty balance, and that is also a byproduct of being early in the fiscal year. You will see that a number of accounts that do have encumbrances, we're starting to open POs, contracting with various companies. You'll see all our salaries are encumbered, so there are, it does reflect spending, but we are very early. As we progress through the year, I will update you, as you are all aware, if there are any areas where we go over budget, or if we recognize savings in certain accounts. I also want to note, Meredith had mentioned that the auditors were in the office. They did come first 2 weeks of August, and during that time, they review all of our financials, our policies, any our fiscal control measures, and they also will survey various stakeholders. So you will later on in the meeting agenda, there is the board's audit questionnaire. So we will review that later in the process. But I do expect to have preliminary audit results for FY25 at hopefully the September board meeting. I'm somewhat at the mercy of the auditors, but I expect to have that by September. If not, then October at the latest. At which point I will report back on how we ended last year, any unreserved fund balance, areas where we went over budget, under budget, any audit recommendations reported during that meeting. As you know, the full audit process goes into early spring, at which point they will develop a full financial report, which we publish probably March. Be happy to answer any specific questions on straightforward.
Yep. Okay, thank you, Matt. Let's move on to continuing business, which I think there is, there anybody, yeah. Alright, so let's go, sorry.
No, for
Okay. So let's move on to new business, so that's the policies, first read.
So yeah, there are 30 policies that have been reviewed by the Joint Board Policy Committee. As you mentioned, this is the first read, so you know, if you do have any questions, you certainly have, you know, between now and the next board meeting to send over to Meredith, or bring them up at the next board meeting, and we can answer them, at which point you will final approve it, at the second read of the September.
We were very thorough.
Yeah.
Went over those questions, and there was a lot of discussion about it, so it's not. Good to go.
Yep. Okay. Alright, so we'll move on to policies first read adoption, well, there are some I think we need to do.
Yeah, so there are 4 policies that we are asking to waive policy BGAA and approve the adoption and withdrawal of these 4. Those are really in response to new laws and also specifically, and you'll see that there's a description for each of those board docs. But it also affects our grant funding, so we just need to make some slight changes, so we don't have to potentially risk receiving federal.
A little more explanation about the either suspension or withdrawal of ACB equity in the title there you can see. As you know, there's been some lots of discussion around that portion of that bill number 2 that includes some reference to this, and there is some litigation that's ongoing. The superintendent has been advising boards as we've been meeting, they may want to just suspend this policy until we know more before the deadline comes up in September. But it's your choice if you want to withdraw it completely, or if you'd like to just suspend that particular policy for the time being, while more information is gathered. So that would be your decision, change the motion. So you have to both waive your policy and then decide, you know, to adopt the 3, and then whether you're either going to suspend or withdraw the last one.
So the motion is to adopt and then withdraw, so you could adjust that to adopt and suspend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, what are most boards doing?
They have done the suspend, yeah, that's what they've done, 'cause that's been her recommendation.
Yeah. it's just suspend. So, I make a motion to adopt.
First, you need to waive the policy, because this is really a first read, so you've gotta waive the policy that allows you
Motion's
to.
in,
Yeah.
Motion's right
it can
there.
be one motion, but
Yep.
it's,
I'll make a motion to waive SHSB policy BGAA and approve the adoption and suspend the recommendation for policy.
Second that.
And all in favor? Thank you.
Thanks so much.
So that's it, we don't need to do anything further here, right? Let's move on to the approvals.
Approve the ones, first reading next.
So the next
Next
one.
time, yeah. Let's go to the approval of the student handbook.
Make a motion to approve the 2025-26 Barnard School.
Who's second? Thank you. And all in favor? Thank you. And,
Let's move on to the 2025 audit questionnaire.
So as I mentioned, as part of the audit process, we do ask the school board to complete the questionnaire that is attached attached on board docs. I previously sent it to you to review, and this is kind of your last chance to make any edits or changes to your answers prior to submitting it to the auditors. Once you finalize this questionnaire, I will send it to the board chair for his signature, and then I'll send it to you.
And it was, I mean, everything was already in there already, right?
So
Like,
I-
we just had to edit anything.
I pre-populated it with your answers from last year, and I updated your bios, and then if you had any changes to the answers, you just let me know. So I don't need a motion, but I'll, assuming you're okay with it, I'll send it to Alex for, handoffs.
Let's move on to the extracurricular stipends committee.
Yeah, so, as part of our collective bargaining agreements, we are tasked with forming an extracurricular stipend committee on an annual basis, and that's meant to review all of our stipends, and then make any recommendations, for any changes or adjustments. We did meet in June, that consisted of, Alex, the union president, Sarah Trujillo.
Nope, Sarah was
Okay.
not.
So I think it was just.
Brandon and
Brandon
I.
was here.
Brandon.
Yeah.
Michelle, and myself. And we did have two recommendations. We are looking, to increase the athletic director stipend to $2,131, and that's to better reflect, the time commitment of that role, and that's a full year role as opposed to one season. And to better align with, the other stipends, and then reduce the multiple before and after folks stipend, to $610. That's a net wash, so there is no, additional funding or cost to the school district. So we're just asking the board for, a motion to approve that change.
Good question.
Am I allowed, I don't know if I'm allowed to speak, but on the 16th when we met, we talked about.
Excuse me, can you introduce yourself?
Absolutely, I'm AJ Pruitt. Am I supposed to use my formal name? I'm Amy Pruitt.
Thank you.
You bet. I'm a C union rep.
Thank you so much.
You bet. We spoke about, bringing the student council stipend to, better reflect the same as the others, to $1,330. And I was asked to bring, stuff to this meeting and information to this meeting about, what they do. So I don't know.
I'm sorry, are you saying that we agreed to make that change?
No,
As I recall, was that that topic got brought up, and if that was something that we needed more information. So it's not to this meeting, but we would, if you had more information, we could reconvene that committee meeting.
Okay, so
and
I
then we can always-
misunderstood.
And we can always bring a recommendation from the committee to the board for approval.
So I misunderstood. I have in my notes to bring the documentation of their work, to the August school board meeting.
Yeah, so
Is what was in my
the
notes.
committee needs to review the data and come to an agreement to make a recommendation for the board to make a decision.
Okay.
So if that's the case, that you have some data, then we can certainly, reconvene.
Okay,
And we can look at that information and
Perfect.
decide if there's any changes that we need to make, and then we just bring it to the board at the next meeting.
perfect. Thank you.
It's AJ's birthday today.
Happy
Sorry,
birthday.
I stayed late for that.
That means we really can't, should we, do we have to make a motion on this?
You can, yes, so that you can make a motion on this. This committee can convene at any point. We're required to meet at least once, but it doesn't preclude us from reconvening and then make more recommendations.
Okay.
Katie an opportunity to have another meeting or learn about the extracurricular sessions.
Sure, sounds good to me.
Okay. Let's move on to personnel. Okay, then we should do this in
I think we
non-public.
have to go,
Yeah.
non-public first, yeah.
This.
Do I, roll call?
Yes, you have to leave that on until we do the roll call, please. So who's gonna make the motion?
I'll make a motion to go into non-public under
Thanks.
RSA 91-A:3.
3.
To be
To be
at 5:01.
number one.
Got it.
I'll second that motion.
And Alec? Becky?
Yes.
And Lauren?
Yes.
And Katie, you can close now because we're in